Okay, hello again. Something went a bit wrong with my sound, so I'm having to do this in two parts. But this final part is going to be very quick. There's just one more thing I wanted to go over, and that is using the LFO to control pitch. So this would create like a vibrato effect. So, for example, a string player, like violin players, will often use vibrato. So what they do is they vibrate their finger on a string, and that will create little fluctuations in pitch. So we can do a similar sort of thing on a synthesizer using an LFO and controlling the pitch of the oscillator. So as you see, I've got on my LFO, I've got a sine wave going into my scope at the moment. So what we need to do on the oscillator is we still want to play a note using the keyboard, but then we want to modulate the frequency of that note using the LFO. So we use the FM input here. So FM stands for frequency modulation, because we're wanting to modulate the frequency using the LFO. So I'm going to connect that up to the sine wave output of the LFO. And now, I think this would normally be set to nothing. So this is how much of the frequency modulation we're going to go into here. So let's put it sort of halfway and see what that sounds like. So you can hear that it's quite crazy. It's sort of moving the pitch up and down an awful lot, which is not very realistic to what a real player would do. So I think for a start, let's try a bit of a faster modulation. But then if we turn this right down low, so we're only getting a little bit. It's a bit too fast, maybe a bit slower. So that's starting to sound a bit more like kind of like a vibrato on a real instrument. Just a tiny little bit just to fluctuate the pitch. So that, yeah, you can hear now that's starting to sound a bit more like the sort of string-like vibrato. Perhaps if we use triangle wave, sounds even a bit more sort of realistic. Well, we're still using very basic synthesis here, so it's not going to sound absolutely beautiful, but you get the idea. So that's the last thing I wanted to talk to you about. So that's it. I'd quite like you to have a go at doing this, and if you can, like you did last time, just take a video on your phone or something like that, so that so you've got some sort of evidence that you've had a go at doing it, and I'll set a task on Moodle for you to upload it to.